You know, the menu here in the Georges V restaurant really is fit for a king or a prince.
How are you?
Did I interrupt you when you were making your program?
Oh, sorry.
Even Holmes gets in everywhere.
For the ultimate quiet man jaunt, John Luskin's jaunting car is just the job. John was a youthful extra in the movie, but had he, I wondered, ever spotted himself?
I have, but I wouldn't recognise myself without holding the film. The scene now where he threw her fortune into the boiler, I could pick myself very easily there because when she was walking down the track, she says, well...
I'll be going on home now. I'll have the supper ready for you.
There was an awful lot of the people in the parish of Cong that didn't want the Quiet Man filmed at all at the time. They thought it was a casting reflection on the way of life of the Irish people.
Do you think the film itself is getting more popular?
It is getting more popular now. It'll soon be a classic altogether. There could be a monument where the cross is in Cong. There could be a monument with me and Bob in stone.
Many of the Quiet Man houses are still standing, and I just couldn't resist trying to fill Joan Wayne's boots.
43 years too late.
Oh well, time for a quiet sup at the Quiet Man pub. But all isn't as it seems, for this isn't just a pub with no beer, it's a pub with no pub. It's a shop, but owner Jack Murphy is a Quiet Man fan.
Oh, it had a huge impact on Cong. It really put the village on the map. Because we have people now coming from all over the world. We all went to Dublin to see the movie when it came out. That was the first place it was shown, in the Adelphi Cinema in Dublin. And all the village drove up to see that movie in Dublin. And it was tremendous, great excitement.
What time is it?
5:30, sir.
The nightlife in the village of Cong packs a punch too, and they don't allow anyone to be a quiet man for long. The hospitality doesn't end at closing time, and you can always catch a video in your room. You'd never dream which one.
A replica of the Quiet Man cottage opens as an interpretive centre near Ashford on May the 1st. Rooms at the five-star castle start at £202 per night. Some activities like golf and tennis are included in the price, but all meals are extra. Coming up next, the city of Galway. We've a dispatch from Spanish television's Marta González de la Peña, and journalist Lydia Thomas takes her family to Fermanagh and reports on their lakeside holiday. Plus, Ronan Kelly continues his series of reports on food. All that after the break.
Once unloaded their cargoes of wine, I met tour guide Peter O'Dowd.
So the Spanish started coming here many years ago by sea. Are they still coming? Were we the first tourists? Are we still coming here?
I suppose you could say you're the first tourists, all right. And yes, you're still coming. Galway now is becoming a very important tourist, I was going to say town, but it's a city now. And every year we get so many youngsters coming from all over, all over Europe, including Spain. And they like to walk down the narrow streets we have here. They like to take part in all the festivities. We have lots of festivals and things like that. And it's becoming, in a way, the young city, if you like, of Europe.
This is Lynch's castle. Tradition has it that a Galway mayor called Lynch hanged his son because he killed a Spanish nobleman. It's said that the word lynching comes from this. The Spanish word is linchar, so it might be true. And that's not the only fable. Christopher Columbus apparently prayed here before he set off to find America.
Galway is a very cosmopolitan and vibrant city, and it keeps its traditions very much alive.
Ancient traditions are continued by the young people of Galway, like this cross-weaving, which I tried myself. Alongside the city's medieval walls is a modern shopping mall, and there are still treasures to be found on the antique stalls. The local open-air market is renowned for its selection of Irish cheeses and Mediterranean delicacies, and they even have olives from my hometown.
Pimiento, do you speak Spanish?
Sí, puedo hablar español también.
Ah, perfecto.
If you want to buy something to remind you of your visit to Galway, then the famous clattering is a natural choice. At Guinness Jewellers, you can see some of the oldest rings, as Sean Carroll explains.
Now you understand the symbolism. The sentiments of the symbols are quite simple, really. The hands represent friendship, the crown loyalty, and the heart love.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's uniquely, as I say, Galway idea. And I think to this day it's fair to say that friendship underpins the success of tourism here in Galway.
At the heart of Galway city is Eyre Square, which is dominated by the Great Southern Hotel. Inside, you feel you're going back in time. Its afternoon teas are the perfect excuse to rest from sightseeing and shopping. Just outside the city is Morans of the Weir, where they serve the famous Galway oysters. Willie Moran, the owner, told me more.
People travels from all over the world. We had the likes of Roger Moore, Paul Newman, Julia Roberts, just to name a few. These oysters have a unique flavour. They have a beautiful, sweety kind of taste. They have a taste of their own. You really have to try them, really. You can squeeze the lemon now.
Okay. Enough? More?
Yeah, that's it. Just a couple of drops. That's lovely.
Okay, and...
Galway is a very cultured city, and at the Tarfyard Theatre you can enjoy a performance nearly every night of the week. This production of St. Bridget's Eve Song says goodbye to the winter and welcomes in the summer. I certainly felt very welcome during my stay here.
Marta stayed in the heart of Galway at the Great Southern Hotel, where rooms cost from £53.50 per night, but they offer special weekend rates. There are several hotel chains in the area and prices start at around £35 per night. Now to the Fermanagh Lakeland, a location famous the world over for its scenic beauty. It's an ideal choice for a family holiday and is well serviced with a range of tourist accommodation for the able-bodied and disabled alike. Journalist Lydia Thomas took her husband Alan and son Jamie to sample some of the Lakeland's delights.
County Fermanagh is Ireland's Lake District with the magnificent expanses of Lower and Upper Lough Erne at its heart. It's long been a popular holiday destination because of its many water-based attractions, such as fishing and boating. But there's much more to Fermanagh than its lakes, as we were to find out.
We're based here at Fermanagh Lakeland Lodges, which is on the edge of Lough Erne, near the village of Letter. There are a number of lodges dotted around the lake, and this one's been designed with wheelchair users in mind.
We were very impressed with the standard of accommodation here. There are 7 lodges. This is the only one that's specially adapted for a wheelchair user. There are 3 bedrooms in each house, and the layout is spacious and comfortable. The cottages are open all year round, and the central heating and open fire means you're always cosy here, even on a cold day. There was everything we needed in the fully equipped kitchen, and we could easily have been tempted to just sit back and relax in the peace and quiet, but we were glad we didn't, because there was so much more to see and do. You definitely need to take a car if you're in this part of the country. We flew into Belfast from Birmingham and hired one at the airport. Just down the road from our lakeside cottage is the village of Balleek. Established in 1853, Balleek pottery is Ireland's oldest and most historic pottery, famous worldwide for its delicate lace-like Parian china. The traditions and skills associated with the crafting of this pottery have been largely handed down from generation to generation. Jude Boyle is a well-taught master potter.
As a young lad, I used to visit my father in Balleek and watch him working, because it never ceased to amaze me how baskets were made and how the flowers were made and applied to the Parian ware.
And what about the sort of tools that you use? Because they're not exactly high-tech, are they?
This particular tool here was my father's tool. It's made out of the centre axle of the front wheel of a bicycle.
Obviously.
Yes, very simple. And he has had this particular tool for the 53 years that he spent here.
Good heavens.
The old town of Enniskillen stands on one of the 154 islands in Lough Erne. Enniskillen Castle was a military stronghold since the reign of the powerful chieftains. The castle barracks, as it became known, remained a military depot until 1950, and the Regimental Museum of the Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers has been open to the public since 1964. Because this is an historic building, they've been unable to install a lift, so my visit was restricted to the ground floor, but Alan took Jamie upstairs to see the rest of the displays. In the centre of the town is the Buttermarket Craft and Design Centre, where tourists have the opportunity to visit one of the 12 workshops which are housed in the beautifully renovated old Buttermarket. The artisans here show many of the traditional crafts working with clay, but this younger generation's work is less delicate than the Balleek. Anthony Scott is a ceramic sculptor building a reputation for unusual ceramic animals.
I used to work in figurative work, but you have this notion of like clothing and things that sort of gives it a sort of a period in time. With animals, they don't clothes, you know, that sort of that bulk of like social stigma that's attached to them in that sense. They're just animals, and also they've got great expression. They don't hide their emotions as much, which people tend to do.
When it comes to eating out, there's a range of restaurants, pubs and cafes. Franco's is one of the town's most popular restaurants. Its menu is varied and quite good value. It's a great place for a family meal, and it has excellent facilities for wheelchair users. Nighttime in Enniskillen has plenty to offer. There's a friendly welcome for visitors, and there's a strong tradition for good hospitality, as I discovered at Blake's of the Hollow. You have an incredible bar here, an incredible site. How long has Blake's been here?
They've been here since 1929, although the bar itself was modernised in 1887, and it's a listed bar inside and also the front exterior.
What about the bath ritual? I know that they used to be able to come here and have a bath or something.
That's right. When I was a child, up where the gents' toilet is now, there was an old Victorian bath with wooden surrounds, and customers could pay a fee and have a hot bath there.
Though we were made to feel really at home at Blake's, our cosy cottage awaited, and another comfortable night by the sleepy shores of Lough Erne.
Lydia stayed at Lakeland Lodges, where prices start at £190 per week. Tours of the Balleek Pottery Workshop were available on weekdays only and cost £1, with samples of the finished product available to buy. Admission to the Enniskillen Castle Museum is £1.50 per adult. Every time I come to Belfast, there's somewhere new to eat. Dozens of restaurants and pubs seem to sprout up every year. The pub's always a good choice if you want a busy, bubbly atmosphere. Ronan Kelly's been finding out that some bar menus have come a long way from the days of the pie and the pint.
The Kitchen Bar in the heart of Belfast is one of the city's most traditional pubs, with the owner still in residence upstairs. This bar is buzzing at lunchtime, but people who come here expect something that's just a little different. I met up with Eileen Catney, hard at work in the kitchen.
Eileen, it's an early old start for you every morning then?
Oh yes, I arise every morning about 7.
That's quite a thing, because you're working here to what, 11:30 at night?
That's right.
Well, when you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, and start your work here, what do you normally do? What is the order?
The order of the day is have a cup of tea, put on my griddle, light my oven, and start baking, doing my bread for my KBs.
Now, what do you mean by KBs?
The Kitchen Bar Specials.
Right, and that's the patty pizza?
Yes.
How did that come about in the first place?
Well, it was a customer came in here one day and asked me, had I any sort of bread? And I said, yes, I have some. He said, would you put some ham on it, tomato and onion, and some cheese, and do it under the grill? So I did that for one customer, and I've been doing it for 100 since.
The decor in the Kitchen Bar takes the punters back to the glorious days of the Empire Theatre, which used to stand next door. The walls are covered with signed photographs of famous people such as Charlie Chaplin, James Young, Bruce Forsyth, and not forgetting Eileen's son Pat, who's worked here all his life.
Pat, in the time that you've been here, have you noticed many changes in the trends with regard to lunchtime eating?
I would say that the biggest change is women now being able to come into the public bars. I'm not saying they were never allowed to before, but that would be the biggest change that I would say in the public house sector. And they're a welcome resource as well, because they've showed us all how to up our standards.
So, like, for everyone else, there's always a welcome at the Kitchen Bar?
Always a welcome at the Kitchen Bar. You enjoy that pint of stout, and when you're there, you're going to have a patty pizza.
Oh, we'll have to have a patty
John,
pizza.
one patty pizza for the counter.
Oh, John,
one patty pizza.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thanks a million. There you have it, the patty pizza from the Kitchen Bar. 50 calories the lot, and if you believe that, you'll believe anything.
If you've been thinking of visiting any of the places in tonight's programme, then we've a few dates for your diary. At Cong, there's the Quiet Man Weekend Festival starting on the 21st of July for 3 days. It's likely to be quite noisy as fans from all over the country gather here. They show the film continuously in all hotels and pubs while the festival is on. Galway City is at its liveliest during July and August. The Galway Arts Festival starts on July the 17th and runs until the 28th. Galway races take place from the 29th of July to the 3rd of August. And the Oyster Festival is at the end of September. In Fermanagh, the Classic Fishing Festival takes place in Enniskillen on the 13th of May, and you can visit the village of Belcoo for its annual festival for a week beginning on August